Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3. We have some serious choices to make. We are currently at war here against the Spartans, but we need to decide if we need to knock out Athens first, or potentially wheel around the back door of Sparta and do our best to knock them out without having any sort of defense in case Athens decides to get cheeky. They are pretty cheeky, according to Gerard Butler. So let's move. One defensive unit here. What can we do? How far can we go? I mean, it's not all that bad. Maybe I'll do this. Should I do flank or should I do... 7,500 will get me one, maybe a pikeman. So I will do... Javelins are just... they just melt Spartans. It's kind of what we need. Small, subtle defense here. I mean, I hope that would hold some kind of invasion. I don't know. 1 hoplite, 3 militia, 4 citizens, and 3 archers. Yeah. Might be able to plug some gaps, but nothing much. Maybe enough at least to deter them from thinking about doing anything. Alright, let's check up on our units over here. Let's see. You need to start moving. And you... can you move? No, okay. So I think that's our turn. Holding out for one more turn, hopefully... oh yeah, heroic battle. Hopefully that'll not be a mistake. Moving the chess pieces into their appropriate places can sometimes be a burdensome task. Sorry about that. Oops. Look at all the amazing cultures it just cycles through. Each one with its own shield, with its own declaration of culture. It's fascinating. We're gonna march on Sparta. Oh shit. Oh, actually this is probably better. God, they're so strong. But we need economy. Mercenary peltists. Rhodian slingers. Those are too expensive. What is the range? 215? God, that's so far. That's nuts. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Yeah. Quickly knock out Sparta. Just whirl them down. But they are stockpiling and it's making me very, very nervous. That's gonna be a slum soon. We need monies. Let's move our spy one more time. Maybe we'll get some trade agreements here. Hopefully. No one knew. Bummer. Whirling my fleet around. Sinope. There we go. Two new people. Let's see what we got here to work with.
For the sake of friendship that has been,
Damn.
we will not agree. I will listen carefully to your words and then give judgment.
Damn. We need more trade. It's really not working out for us going this direction. I might have to cut the trip short, or at least get another fleet running. Probably after we take out Athens. Head down, because I could have gotten Rhodes by this point, right? And Crete and Carthage. Carthage would have been an enormous trade partner. Hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? We're gonna end the turn. They are getting tall. Very, very tall. All right, let's knock out Sparta.
We are laying siege to the settlement.
Got 2,000 garrison to yikes.
At once. For the gods.
Maybe another peltist? Possibly. Cretan archers are pretty damn good.
Let them cower like kennelled dogs.
One, two, three. It's gonna be a little tough. But if I somehow get to their back line, I can sweep out some of these units. One, two, really two. Let's see what happens.
This is a fine day for battle. Every
Is it?
day is a fine day for battle.
That's
when
what
you
I thought.
Men of your stripe. We shall have victory today, men. By the gods, I
Yes.
feel it in my water.
Let's do it. Let's beat these Spartans up. Let's knock them out of the game. Let's take them out. Let's take them to town. Look how beautiful the foliage is on this map. For such an old game, you have to give them credit. They really set the standard. DEI, I mean. Really set the standard for mods, set the standard for foliage, set the standard for overall just beauty. So let's figure out what we're doing here. Our great commander is leading forward his forces to meet in the field the very last of the Spartans. We tried to subjugate them peacefully, but in a typical laconic fashion, the Spartans just replied with a one-word letter. If. Classic. They scramble to get themselves into position, completely unaware of our army, taking them by surprise by passing around Athenian lands directly into the very backyard of their final city. And now we pepper them with spears, the one thing that their skill cannot hold against. Take as many of these bastards out as we can. Constant hail of spears is being thrown as the Spartans struggle to get into formation. Can you imagine the kind of chaos this must be in these old throwing wars? All different sorts of ammunition types being hurled in your general direction. Struggling to defend your lands without any sort of preparation or notice. The Macedonian line is falling back, preparing their pikemen, their phalanx units to hold against the Spartan incoming charges. They want to maximize the amount of throwing units they have still available in order to just whittle down the armor and the overall health of each of these units, to bring down as many of these giants as they can. After all, if it was a fair fight, Macedon might have some trouble in melee-to-melee combat. So some trickery must be required. Here, sneaking around is a very important unit. Macedon is set up all the way on the fringes, a means to flank the enemy. Look how beautiful this is. Around their farms, all the way to the back end. The cavalry is doing their best to move past these royal Spartan units to get to the rear line, that assault the unexpected archery units. It's going to be a critical success factor there for sure. The struggle has begun. The melee combat has engaged. Macedonian unit versus Spartan unit. Whom is the strongest Greek? Which army makes the best fighting force in all of Greece? There's so many advantages that the Macedonians have employed: the element of surprise, the element of organization over chaos, and the throwing war advantage. See, this army was specifically designed to basically Spartan assassinate. They knew exactly what their weaknesses were: lack of mobility, as well as the inability to handle numerous amounts of javelin throws. And so although the number of melee infantry on the Macedonian side are small, they just need enough to hold them still, while the rest of the throwing force chips away at the morale and health. Maintaining their discipline, they hold their line. Hold their line. Agroni and Peltis rush in to try to counterflank these Scutari swordsmen. Surprisingly, these Lancers have lasted a lot longer than expected. There's only a few of them left. They are somewhat of a mythical force at this point, but they have survived. Out here in the fields, these Sarissa Lancers are doing their best to dance around the ranged infantry to eliminate any sort of archery fire onto the horsemen. These archery units here try to hold their ground into the streets of their sacred city, but they won't be able to last that much longer. As you can see, they've put them into full rout, and now the cavalry are open season for rear charges. Here comes one thunderous charge by the Sarissa Lancers, decimating the back of this unsuspecting unit. Completely unaware, these Scutari swordsmen are taking so much damage. It's only a matter of time before they break. Let's check on the Macedonian middle. There is chaos in the ranks. The line is starting to break. A wedge is being successfully employed here. If they're not careful, and if these Spartans work hard enough, they can drive and split the middle of the Macedonian line into two different pieces. Swinging around, these Rhodian slingers and Cretan archers prepare to assault and throw as many ranged weapons down the pike to hit these malicious spearmen. They're picking their weakest targets first to try to create mass hysteria amongst their ranks, which is a pretty ingenious maneuver. Normally, if it's javelins, especially armor-piercing javelins, it's better to target the more elite units to just take out any sort of grind advantage, but because of the number of units, it's important to rout as many of them as possible to basically create an imbalance in number. Look at these Cretan archers just crushing these malicious spearmen. Man, they're so good. Very good hire there by Philip. Here comes another charge. Right into some weaker units into the back, trying to create some routes. These pikemen have them held down, hammer and anvil engaged. These Sarissa Lancers are trying to cause as much rout as possible. Just as the sun begins to peek through the clouds and sunshine is put over the battlefield, more blood is being spilled. Keep it going. Keep it going, my Macedonian Lancers. Keep it going. Not quite sure what that unit is doing, I suppose taking a rest. Here comes another charge right down into another Spartan phalanx here. These Peltist units are doing wonders from the mobility front. It's almost like Macedonian guerrilla warfare. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Fight. It's chaos amongst the ranks, but the Macedonians are doing very well and causing routes. Look at the carnage. Look at the dead body carnage. They're just closing in almost in triple envelopment onto these more elite units here. Pikemen poking slowly, but surely trying to find vulnerabilities in this unit's phalanx. It seems like they're slowly moving towards a rout. Cycle charge after cycle charge. It's just absolute chaos in the field. It's very hard to determine what exactly is going on. I just know these Sarissa Lancers are putting a clinic onto these enemy units. Look at them trying to stack up their shields, trying to keep themselves from being overrun by these pikes, and it looks like they finally broke, and now they are in full rout, desperately trying to block as much of the ranged attacks as possible, but Macedon will not let them go without paying some sort of penalty. After all, it was Sparta who declared war on us. This is a righteous campaign, a righteous extermination for the ancient world. A legal subjugation of a culture type, not an expansionist greed reach. And now Macedon appears victorious. Victory! There we go. Knock them right out of the competition. That is how you dissemble Spartan hoplites. You could loot. Oh my god. Take 32,000. I do need the money. I'm gonna take the money. I'm gonna take the money because I am gonna need that to bolster this coming right up. First, let's get this off press out of the way.
It is a great and glorious thing to serve your people.
Is that what I want? Do I want that? Maybe one more unit over here?
Ready for orders.
Maybe.
Come, fight with us.
Definitely need more hoplites. That's for sure. Cannot afford to recruit unit. Well, I'd rather more units over here, to be honest. Good lord, those are cheap. That's 2-3 turns. So if I can only get one, I'm gonna get you there. And you, sir, are gonna be, I guess, my cheaper picks. It doesn't really open up
Ready for orders.
options in mass. So,
It is a great and glorious thing to serve your
I need another hoplite. That's most certainly what I need. So we'll put one of you there, and that gives me about 3,500 more, which I could probably get another hoplite for, and just transfer those over.
We hunger for battle.
Finally, get some upgrades here. Because you are my main guy, I always go diplomatic bonus with major nations.
Ready for orders.
Major and minor nations. It's so useful. You really want those trade agreements. It's what puts everything into balance, in my opinion. Fantastic. Alright guys, well that's episode 3. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll check you next time as we assault probably going to be Athens. I don't know how we're going to defeat this Doom stack. This Archon Doom stack. It's going to be quite the push. Quite the push. Not to mention we are looking at some rebellion here around the corner. That complicates some things.
Ready for battle.
Regardless, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.